Eldon's happy to be Murphy's childbirth partner.
We're going to be on a runaway bobsled to hell.
Can they cope? Murphy Brown.
Tomorrow night at 6:30 on Channel 2.
The digging out went on in the Sierra today. Tonight, another big storm may be heading in. We'll have a live report from the mountains. Here in the Bay Area today, as you can see, even reporting on the dangers of the cold could be dangerous. Almost a month ago, Fairfield police searched his house and called him their prime suspect in a child kidnapping case. We'll have an update on this strange case. In Washington State tonight, a death watch goes on outside a prison where a man is to be hanged just 2 hours from now. The stories and all the news on this Monday night, January 4th, 1993.
Live from KTVU, this is the Emmy Award-winning 10 o'clock news on Channel 2, the #1 primetime newscast in the country.
Good evening. I'm Elaine Corral. Dennis Richmond is off tonight. Guess what's on the way? Another storm. Actually, another major storm. Rain in the Bay Area may be heavy at times tomorrow, while in the Sierra, a winter storm watch is in effect for tomorrow night. George Watson took a trip to the Sierra today and is standing by right now alongside Highway 80 with a live report. George.
Well, Elaine, right now it is crystal clear, very cold, but there are stars in the sky. But earlier today, it gave Caltrans crews a chance to clean off the highway and basically get ready for the storm that is expected to hit either later tonight or early tomorrow morning. It gave people a chance to finally either get out of the area or get to where they wanted to go. Because as you remember, last week's major storm shut down all 3 major highways that headed into the mountains. And now another fierce storm is expected to hit tonight. Now, there is a possible tragedy here. 3 people are missing. On December 29th, James Patola, his wife, Amy, and their 4-year-old son, Clayton, left for Idaho to go to a funeral. He is an Army private stationed at Camp Roberts in Southern California. They have not been seen since they left. The Red Cross has no reports on their whereabouts. Now, farther north from here, an estimated 300 cars, unoccupied hopefully, are buried under the snow. Now, Caltrans trucks have actually been running into these cars. That's how they've been finding them while they've been trying to clear the roadway. It is hoped that these people have made it to their destination, made it to Idaho, and they just don't know that people are looking. Has been missing since December 29th. Now, tomorrow, we're staying here tonight, and we're heading up north tomorrow to where all those cars are buried, and where, if the storm does hit, all the expected problems will occur. This will be north of here on Highway 80. Elaine?
George, thanks very much for that live report. Last weekend, Sierra storm almost cost a California man his life. Southern California physician Dale Ellis spent almost 12 hours stuck alone in the snow after he slipped while skiing near Tahoe. He had fallen down a steep ravine near the boundary of the Diamond Peak ski resort Saturday afternoon and could not get out. After rescuers found him, Ellis talked about fighting to stay alive just a few feet from the rope boundary of the ski run.
I was right around the rope, but then I kind of slid out because I'm not that great of a skier. As I tried to turn up towards the rope, I kept going down. I took my skis off. I was going to try and crawl back up. I couldn't go up. And I was screaming at people. I was going, help, help. But I could see him, and it just, nobody, I couldn't, I don't know if anybody heard me.
The Tahoe Nordic Search and Rescue Unit from Truckee found Ellis's abandoned skis and his tracks. The tracks led down the mountain. Rescuers found Ellis near the bottom of the mountain less than an hour later. Despite the sub-zero temperatures, he was treated for only minor frostbite and released. Here in the Bay Area, it was bitter cold this morning. How bitter cold was it? Lloyd LaQuesta will tell us, though perhaps more to the point, he'll show us.
Bay Area motorists who left their cars outside overnight had to do some windshield scraping this morning. It was the coldest morning in the Bay Area in 2 years. Temperatures dipped down into sub-freezing teens in some areas. On Highway 17 in the Santa Cruz Mountains, traffic was slow because Caltrans was putting sand on a section of the roadway, where a motorist last night skidded over a patch of black ice, lost control, and hit an oncoming car, killing the driver of that car. At an intersection off Summit Road in the Santa Cruz Mountains, flowing water had created a section of black ice. One resident was surprised that the ice hadn't melted by noon.
If it gets freezing, this is common for out here in this particular intersection. It's always wet after a rain for a week or two after a rain. And this is the first time I've seen this much ice on the road.
Black ice is dangerous for cars. It's just as dangerous for pedestrians, as I unexpectedly demonstrated on the noon news today. That's what happens. And while I survived that, many people are afraid their plants won't survive such chilly nights. Experts advise that covering your plants with burlap or plastic will keep them warm. While the cold has many people scurrying to try and cover up their plants, there are some farmers who just love the cold weather. John Olson was tending to cherry trees in Sunnyvale today. Olson says there's nothing better than freezing winter weather for cherries and other deciduous fruit.
The cold weather helps put the trees to sleep. Without the cold weather, the trees cannot go dormant or go to sleep, and therefore when the springtime comes, they don't know when to bloom. But with the cold weather, approximately 30 nights rather, of 32 degrees, puts the trees in the dormant cycle, so they come out in the early spring or late February in a full bloom. And that's what you're looking for in raising cherries.
But 30 nights of freezing temperatures may not be possible. Warmer weather is in the forecast. Lloyd LaQuesta for the 10 o'clock news.
With all the snow and all the rain we've had and more headed our way, using the word drought may seem like a bad joke. But the fact is, if we were suddenly to get enough precipitation to end the effects of 6 years of drought, we'd be facing floods of historic proportions. John Fowler is in Oakland with a live report on where we actually stand in terms of our water supply. John.
Thanks very much, Elaine. If the water that most of us here in the Bay Area will be drinking next year, tonight is up in the Sierra. The Sierra snowpack is on average 1.5 times normal. Although it's colder and drier than normal, it's the deepest in 9 years. That's perfect for skiers. And looking at all this snow, you might think the drought is behind us, but National Weather Service experts today said, think again. It's taken a long time for California to get this dry, and our water troubles won't be over anytime soon.
6 years is a long time to be in a drought, and it will take a lot more precipitation than we have seen so far. In other words, the month of December needs to be continued into the future before the drought is really alleviated.
State water officials tonight say the snowpack water content stands at 1/3 more than normal for this time of year. That amounts to 60% of the entire expected season total, as much as we got all of last year. Maybe we shouldn't say drought so much as water shortage. What counts is the water that makes it into reservoirs, and that's where we're short. The dry soil will soak up much of what melts, so experts figure there's still not enough water to bring reservoirs to where they should be. Although water officials say coming storms could actually overflow Central Coast reservoirs. And despite the abundance of snow and rain we have now, we may see less of this the rest of the year. The National Weather Service today made its long-term prediction for western states for less than normal precipitation.
I know people are getting, oh God, this guy's here he goes again, but it's still early. I mean, it's only, the first part of January. We've got another 4 months that are really the heart of the precipitation period in California. And if those should not materialize, we still have serious problems.
State Water Resources technicians took one snow sample yesterday. They'll be taking another sample tomorrow. That one will be for the Central Sierra, which officials say is somewhat less important for overall water supplies. All in all now, Weather Service people and the Department of Water Resources officials are telling us that it will take 2 more winters like this before they'll be willing to declare the drought officially over. Elaine?
John Fowler in Oakland. Thanks very much, John. Straight ahead tonight on the 10 o'clock news in the state of Washington, a gallows waits to take this man's life tonight. It would be the first execution by hanging in this country in more than 1/4 century. And in Oakland, the city's first homicide victim of the new year was just standing in his own kitchen when a stray bullet hit him. We'll be right back.
You see this is a list of things I had to do on Monday. This one is everything I had to do on Tuesday, plus what I didn't get done on Monday. Wednesday's list is ridiculous. Thursday's hopeless, and here it is Friday. But things are looking up, because the one thing that I really need to do is go to the bank. And I can do that tomorrow, because Great Western is open Saturday. Even I don't need a list to remember that.
There's nothing like the bond between a man and his truck. And right now, taking the plunge is easier than ever. It's a sure thing. For a limited time, Chevrolet's made it possible for dealers to get you an S10 pickup, equipped with the extras you're looking for, but without the extra cost. Yes, there's nothing as perfectly matched as a man and a truck. Unless, of course, it's a woman in a truck.
Get $2,861 in options at no charge plus $750 cash back.
Did the search of Timothy Bindner's house turn up evidence that would convict him of abducting Nikki Campbell? We talked to police about that. That story coming up.
Are you just too busy to lose weight? Well, not anymore. Because the new Weight Watchers has personal cuisine. It's so easy, you won't believe you can eat fabulous food like this on a weight loss plan. But now you can with personal cuisine. You find it only at participating Weight Watchers centers. And with free registration, there's no excuse. So join the new Weight Watchers now.
Critics are calling it one of the best movies of the year, a stunning achievement.
The whole world knows about you, Charlie.
It has thrilled audiences in New York and Los Angeles. Now, the motion picture nominated for 3 Golden Globe Awards, including Best Actor,
Waiting for that other shot, Sid.
is coming to a theater near you, Robert Downey Jr., in a Richard Attenborough film. Chaplin, rated PG-13.
I'm Ross McGowan. Join me tomorrow morning at 7 on Mornings on 2.
Less than 2 hours from now, just after midnight, the state of Washington is scheduled to hang a man to death. Outside the state penitentiary, anti-death penalty demonstrators have gathered since yesterday despite heavy snowfall. If it happens, Wesley Allen Dodd will become the first person executed by hanging in this country since 1965. Earlier today, the Washington State Supreme Court rejected a lawsuit filed by 26 residents who argued that hanging is unconstitutionally cruel and unusual punishment. Dodd was convicted of killing 3 young boys back in 1969. The youngest of the boys was 4-year-old Lee Isley. Isley was sexually molested, tortured, and then hanged. Dodd could have chosen to die by lethal injection, but he chose hanging.
Hanging, that's the way I'm going to go. I'm going to hang, because that's the way Lee Isley died. I don't think I deserve a neat, clean, painless little death. No, I mean, that's not the way Lee Isley died. Hang me.
Death by hanging remains legal in Washington, Montana, Delaware, and New Hampshire.